If you like the video, please consider supporting James Corp on Patreon. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to our Liminal test chamber game, week 5. I've still got the cobwebs on because we're still part of doing the final part. I assume it's the final part of the Halloween special that we started last week. So strap yourselves in for
anything really weird.
If we do really bad, it could be the final game of Liminal.
No, because I haven't got anything else arranged or sorted out yet. Don't forget, if you're watching this on YouTube, to like and subscribe, because I've yet again fallen below 700 followers. I'm back down to 695 again, which is my favourite number. I've lost about 8 followers in like a couple of weeks. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, but okay.
On reflection, apart from the fact that presumably we need to let the boggarts know that we're about to open the thing because we don't want to leave them the wrong side of the door. Also thought we should probably give our contact in P division a bit of a heads up, because if presumably fairly soon now people are going to be reporting missing people to the police, so if we at least get it flagged, they'll know that it's some weird P division stuff and they can quietly ignore it for a bit.
That's a good idea.
Also, there was one place that still had cream as well.
Well, the place opposite are...
Yeah.
Because we're quite far east, aren't we?
Ah, they didn't get that far. Okay. I think we'd gone home, hadn't we? Because it was getting late, so we'd gone home, and we're basically making sure, were we getting stuff to defend ourselves in the Fae realm if we needed to, or was that not what we were going to do? I can't exactly remember what our plan.
It was just, we had a sort of a briefing about
and a regroup,
what not to do.
Is there any merit in trying to bring something as a gift? Because I don't think we're going to get these people. No.
Don't use the G word. I mean, we might, but that's why we have Samuel.
I'm not a gift.
A year and a day in service to the Fae. But just think of it as like an Erasmus trip to a foreign country.
Wow, I can't imagine anything worse.
France?
All right, fair enough. Got me there.
Hello to all our French viewers.
This woman, Fae person, is queen of the graveyard. Is there anything we can assume about her lightly? I mean, that doesn't sound good. The slewer, you identified them as using necromantic magic, didn't you?
I don't know, Sue. Have I ever heard any tales of the queen of the graveyard?
You might have. I think that would be a good time for a lore roll.
Does my Fae speciality kick in?
Yes, it does. But you did also find out last time on examining Victor after his fight with the slewer that he had taken some necromantic injury.
Yeah, you definitely spotted that.
So that's a 12.
So the Queen of the Graveyard is not overly well known as fairy lords go, but you're pretty sure that she's gone in for some fairly strong theming. So given the time of year, what you should probably be looking at is Halloween custom, and that should give you some ideas on how to keep yourself safe in there. Particularly things you might want to look at are
Halloween on.
Yes, things like guising, soul cakes, and jack-o'-lanterns might be a good starting point. These are old Halloween traditions, some of which aren't quite so popular anymore.
What's soul cake?
I think that's one people can look up.
I was going to say, we could hit the libraries, I guess.
Okay, spicy biscuits.
Do the Castellans have their own library at all?
Yes, they do.
I'm going to go spend some time in their library if they're happy for us to be there, which I assume they are, and have a look on Halloween-y sort of protections.
Yep, you did help out with the cream situation, so they're willing to give you some library access.
I've got bookworm. So is that a law roll or education roll?
Education.
Okay, so, and then I have to add in the modifier, don't I? So that's 2. So that's 15.
Right, so what you can come up with from the Castellans library is that soul cakes are an old Halloween tradition. They were sometimes just known as souls. The idea is that you would go out around the time of Halloween and you would say prayers for people's souls in exchange for soul cakes.
Okay. And is there like a recipe for a soul cake?
Yep.
What sort of thing is it?
It's a spicy shortbread biscuit. The tradition of guising is also a kind of precursor of current trick-or-treat traditions. It would involve getting dressed up in costumes, going around to people's houses, and often doing little performances like singing a song.
Okay.
I have an urge to dress up as a cat.
Okay.
I think you all know what jack-o'-lanterns are.
Although presumably there'd have been turnips or something.
Yeah.
Swedes, as they say, south of the border.
Turnip lantern.
Yeah, well, they would be Swedes, but turnips in Scotland, and they were more into them in Scotland. So my mother, when she was growing up in Scotland, or I would say as much was made of Halloween there as it is in the States when she was growing up. But it was just, more apple bobbing and all that sort of thing, and ghost stories, but also carved turnips, which are Swede. But yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, there was none of this pumpkin nonsense.
Yeah.
It was chiseling the insides out of the biggest turnip you could find.
Yeah, same here. And I was only given a spoon to do it with.
We went a bit more industrial on it.
Takes a long time to hollow out a Swede with a spoon.
Should we be getting costumes then?
Well, I was wondering, yes, whether we should be getting costumes and biscuits. Does it look like there's a reasonable chance we can just buy the biscuits in a bakery or a supermarket, or that we should just go and make them? I mean, biscuits don't take that long to make, so we could go and make them.
You've probably got time for a bit of baking.
Okay, so I'm gonna go bake some biscuits, and I guess we should ponder costuming and song preparation.
I'm waiting to hear who's going to volunteer to be carving pumpkins and turnips.
You know what?
I've got one.
I'll do it. Okay, so the criminal and the thug will be carving the pumpkins and turnips.
I'll go out and hire some costumes.
I think it's going to be an art roll to see how good looking your jack-o'-lantern
Yes,
Stick
all right.
figure.
So -2 because I've got an art of 0.
That's the kind of roll I get though when I have
I got
2 in.
12.
Whoa, go that man.
A fucking masterpiece.
I carved a pumpkin out of my pumpkin.
You just put your fist through it. You just put your fist through the face.
Actually, what I did was you know how you light a pumpkin with a candle? I carved a candle out of it. So I'm putting so I've got a candle in the pumpkin, lighting the candle, shining through.
I find it remarkable that Samuel's pumpkin looks more human than his drawing of a human.
Wow, I feel attacked.
I still have his drawing of Eli Cole.
Yeah, well, as I say, I'm just baking according to the recipe.
And I will come back in the mystery investigations people carrier with suitable costumes for everybody. So I am dressed up as, of course, a dashing cavalier. Charlie will have the very best Elizabeth I big frock.
Have you thought about the fact I might need to move a bit?
What makes you think I've considered anything like that?
Okay.
Because Vic has got the Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz, and Samuel has a Baldric costume.
You haven't got him with a stripy jumper and a bag with swag written on the back there.
That's even better. I'll take the Baldric costume back and then come back with with the little domino mask, hat, black, white, stripy jumper, swag bag. There you go. Nobody will guess what your real profession is.
Okay. Yeah, again, I feel attacked.
It's tough love, my boy. Tough love.
There's a very good reason you're feeling attacked.
Okay, I'm raiding my Christmas wrapping paper drawer, trying to produce some pretty looking boxes for the soul cake, or at least, see if I've got any bags that people gave me stuff in that I've carefully hoarded.
I keep mine behind the sofa.
Yeah, I have some behind the sofa, but most of my bags are in the drawer.
So Charlie, now that it's too late, did you happen to add a little extra, say, basil and oregano or something else to these soul cakes?
Nope, I just followed the recipe.
Okay.
But I also bought some extra salt while I was in the supermarket. They weren't big on bronze artifacts, so
right, we have our bronze, we have our salt, we have our apples, our soul cakes, our jack-o'-lanterns, and our absolutely brilliant costuming.
What are we going to do about the boggarts? Because if we told them now, they could probably make their way back overnight. Because I'm guessing we don't want to keep opening the door.
Could swing by and let them
Well,
know.
that's what I figured that we ought to, because we don't want to do all this and then discover they're all still here stealing cream.
True. Creamy little bastards.
So we'll swing by the boggarts, let them know what the plan is, assuming they're still there. If they're not, tough. To be honest, I'm less concerned about having a small enclave of boggarts running around stealing things than I am about an entire village full of people being trapped in the Fae realms for the rest of their lives.
Well, to say nothing of our leathery friends and their necromantic ways, and that's without factoring in the Queen at all.
Yeah, so the least of our worries, but they're one we can sort of just cross off.
Yeah, hopefully.
If you stop by the underneath of the church again, the boggarts are still there. They don't seem particularly keen to move.
Are they still engorged with cream, or has it started to work its way through? I don't really want to know if it's working its way through.
So, by the way, since they have not seen my human form, I am not going to be in there. They've only seen me my wolf form, so I'll hang out in the church or something.
Okay. We could just say that we'll bring our furry friend back if they don't get a move on pronto. We expect to see them there tomorrow morning.
Yes, that causes some consternation. There's a general mood of they do not want to see your furry friend again.
He has that kind of effect on people.
We're so glad I'm not there right now.
How do they react when we tell them that we're going to open the gate again?
General air of disappointment. Yeah, we like it here. There's lots of cream.
That's understandable, but generally you've got to pay for these things. You can't just go and steal them.
Can you tell us anything more about the Queen of the Graveyard?
She's really scary.
Is there anything that she particularly likes or dislikes?
There's a bit of huddled discussion. She doesn't like lights.
And the Slewer, do you know anything about them?
Well, they live there. The Queen's the head of the Slewer. There's loads of them. They're really scary too.
And do they not like light either?
No, they like it dark.
Well, you're going to have to go back, I'm afraid, or find gainful employment, one of the two.
There's some rather dramatic posing at the prospect of gainful employment. It seems that's a far more horrific option for the boggarts than going back to the graveyard.
I mean, what do you do? What skills could you offer the world? Get me flip pad out. We know pad out.
Well, I'd be more interested to know what they do for the Queen, actually.
I bet they just stay out of her way.
Why does she want the boggarts?
We're good at hiding.
Do you hide things for her?
No, we hide ourselves.
Okay.
And we're good at running.
So why do you think she wants you back or didn't want you to leave? Or
I
does
don't
she
know
not?
about whether she wants us back or not.
Right.
We got tricked into going in there.
How did she trick you?
Well, it wasn't her, it was some wizard.
Oh, okay. Did you steal his cream?
Well, if he was going to leave it lying around like that.
I do get the feeling that your views on cream are, if it isn't warded, it's ours.
There's much nodding.
Uh-huh. Much akin to Dragon's Den. Can we go out into the tunnels and have a talk, crew?
Okay.
Certainly.
Have a huddle.
You know, these boggarts might make really good allies.
Maybe. I mean, they're good at running and hiding. They could report back to us.
Because if they hide places and then they hear things, and we could set them up to watch places, and all we've got to do is buy them
Lots
a
of
tub
cream.
whipped cream, and they're happy as Larry. There's no minimum wage for boggarts.
Well, I can think of worse ideas. I mean, it certainly might remove any element of surprise if a horde of boggarts come in with us, and may piss off the Queen anyway if she doesn't particularly want them there.
Where are you having this conversation?
Oh, just probably in church, or depends how far away from the church the tunnels are.
I'm trying to determine if I'm there or not, Because remember, I'm hanging out in the church. I wasn't with you with them.
Yeah, we'll have come back up out of the tunnels that are under the church where the boggarts are. So we'll have come up and having a huddle going, can we employ these?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good idea. Remember our goal. We're trying to keep the hidden world and the mundane world separate. If we employ them, we're taking a step away from that goal.
Yeah, but they are very good
Yeah,
at hiding. I mean, I think there's something to be said for not having the added complication of a load of boggarts going through at the same time as us. That's the only thing. So it just depends on which we think's the lesser of two evils.
No, we got to send them home.
The other thing is, Victor, there's a little bit of pot and kettle there, isn't there? You being, of the lycanthropic persuasion.
It's
and
Vic.
Yet we employ you.
It's Vic.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, they don't belong there. So I don't know where they were before. So they were annoying a wizard. There may be some benefit in keeping them out of the way. I don't know. Whoever just sent them through. I get the impression they were just banished by a very pissed off wizard.
Could be the woman from the from who he stole the stone for. Could it?
Seems a bit of a. I mean, that's in Cardiff. I can't imagine. Well, I don't know quite how banishing works. Maybe it doesn't make any difference, but it'd be a hell of a coincidence.
Again, if our goal is to keep the hidden world and mundane world separate, they're already not doing that. They're already interrupting CCTVs while stealing every ounce of cream. Somebody came to us saying something not mundane is going on. Employing them is a bad idea.
They are, but it's not just because they haven't been educated correctly.
What I can't decide is whether it's better to take them with us or not, just because they may jeopardize the bigger issue of trying to actually close the gate and stop the slewer coming through, who are infinitely worse than the boggarts, with removing them altogether. So it's just whether we think they're going to hinder us substantially trying to get them back.
Well, we can't actually grab them and force them and bring them through. So what we can do is open the gate and then they can go back through if they want, or the Queen can summon them through or whatever. If they happen to be left on the outside.
I mean, the other thing is, is there any element in which we can trade them for the other people she's nicked, or is that just asking for trouble?
Now, there's a moral question, isn't it?
Quite.
They don't want to go back. They aren't native of that particular realm.
No, indeed.
This is where they live.
But if we're saying we're going to force them to go, or at least encourage them to go back anyway, then is there an advantage to be had of doing that? But yes, I agree. If they're not supposed to be there, maybe it's better making sure they go back into hiding with some fearsome warning.
I think we're dealing with a lot of ifs and buts at the moment.
Quite.
Could we possibly send them to a nicer faerie realm?
Well, where do they normally hang out? I mean, where would they be naturally, boggarts? Do we know? Because if they're not supposed to be in this fae realm with the Queen, where were they before, apart from?
Well, they were here.
Generally causing...
Didn't they say they came?
Well, it sounds like they've just been hanging around, nicking stuff and annoying wizards.
At Charlie's question of where they actually come from, I stare very intently at Dr. Canemore. Do you know?
They said, didn't they? Didn't they say when we first encountered them that they used to live here, but they went off with the graveyard queen or whatever her name is.
Indeed.
But it could have been some time. So if they were here pre-human settlement, even.
That's a good few thousand years ago, right?
Well, yeah, but the Fey world's got weird timescales.
Oh, okay.
But they do tend to live in tunnels. They do tend to steal things. They do tend to infest places. Let's cross this bridge when we come to it.
All right.
Okay.
Because we may not make it out of the Fey realm. We may all become chattel to the Queen of the Graveyard and be fed upon by slewers for the rest of our very short mortal lives.
Yeah, let's look on the bright side, eh? Then we won't have to make a decision about the boggarts. Okay. So we're just going to see what happens, whether they turn up or not then.
What else can we do?
Well, yeah, I don't want the hassle of forcing them in anyway. There's quite enough other stuff going on. And if they're not naturally there, then...
But Vic has a point. He does.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can take them somewhere, I don't know, further away from people if we need to later. Should we go visit a queen? Are we just putting things off?
Are you saying we're going to take them to Euro Disney where there's nobody around for kilometers?
The new ride.
Bung them in the ghost realm.
Not the worst idea. Right then, into the mystery investigations people carrier.
It's the mystery mobile.
It is.
Out to Brinton.
Do I want to attempt to get a shotgun that I can fire salt with or not?
Would that draw undue attention?
I mean, there's quite a good chance that James might be able to. I mean, the farmers who have disappeared may well have shotguns.
Now, that question is probably mostly Ryan out of game, being the non-Brit.
I mean, farmers quite commonly have shotguns for pest control, so it wouldn't be surprising, but it wouldn't be a dead cert that they'd have a shotgun. I mean, we could just see, because we had a poke round, we could see if James remembers whether or not they had a shotgun. It's a possibility. I don't know whether it's worth exploring or not, because then I'm going to have to wander around with an unlicensed shotgun. Admittedly, not very far, just from the farmhouse to the gathering.
If we're entering the fae realm bearing a shotgun, and we get into a situation where we're having to use it, we're probably not exiting the fae realm.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Then I shall not. Right, when are we getting... Are we driving in these costumes?
Yeah, I would.
Well, I'm wearing something relatively maneuverable in underneath, so I don't know, like leggings and a t-shirt, and I've also got a spare set of clothes in the car.
Now, I don't want anybody tearing these costumes because I've paid a deposit.
We all look at Vic.
I make no promises.
Oh, come on with your stipend.
Should we hit the road then? Do we want anything that provides light in the Fey realm? I'm guessing that torches won't work. I mean, electrical torches, not flaming brands. Do we want to take paraffin or anything like that? We've got jack-o'-lanterns, but do we want additional, like, nice bright lanterns or methods of lighting flames?
You mean like a lighter?
I've got a
Well,
lighter.
I was thinking petrol actually, but yeah. Do we want to take actual flaming torches?
And
Do we need some
pitchforks.
pitchforks? Oh,
Yeah.
You're coming up with all the exciting ones today. It's shotguns and pitchforks and flaming torches.
I don't know.
my.
I'm just wondering whether we should take some method that creates more light than a candle, given that we know the slewer don't like them. And I know you were hiding behind a tree, but I got up close and personal and really don't want to hang around without anything that I can defend myself with other than a Vic.
Yeah, I can see without light, no problem.
I'm sure we've got some flashlights, don't we?
got phones, haven't we?
Will those flashlights or will the light on a phone work in a Fey realm?
Who knows?
I am
I
going
like
to the
you,
camping
though.
shop. I'm going to a camping shop and I'm getting a lantern that runs off some form of fuel. Alcohol, probably.
Probably gas from a camping shop.
Okay.
Right, now let's get in the van,
Okay.
go to Brington and do the ritual.
I give Charlie a spare change of clothes for me just in case.
Okay. Well, it can go with my spare games. Change of clothes. Okay. Yeah. Do you want me to carry it into the Fey realm with me?
Yes.
Okay.
If I'm going to change, that's probably where I'm going to have to change. I fully anticipate this costume will not make it back.
Okay, so I'm going to kit out my usual med kit, which admittedly removes some verisimilitude from the costume, but basically I've got a small rucksack with my med kit in and Vic's change of clothes.
Hide it in your bustle.
If it looks like I can conceivably put it under a cloak or something, I might, but...
And my change of clothes is nothing more than a t-shirt and some athletic pants, so it's very thin and small.
So back to Brington and the fairy ring. It's all very much as you left it. The
No
remnants of
police have
Halloween
turned up
party.
yet.
Oh, did we
Nope.
contact the police?
Yeah, we did. We just said if anything gets flagged in Little Brington, then you should contact P Division.
Yeah, we contacted P Division. I don't know, did we contact the police?
No, just our contact in P Division, but I'm assuming they will add something to the police. I've no idea what they will do, but I'm assuming it means if anything gets flagged, they'll know to contact P Division, but I've left that up to them.
So P Division will handle the police side of things.
I'm going to go and feed the chickens before we head off.
Am I going to feed on the chickens before?
No, you are not.
I'll go steal that TV, yeah?
There are a couple of eggs if Vic's
Do
really
we want to take the eggs with us?
I could go for an omelet in the morning.
Okay, I'll take the eggs. Why not? Okay.
Actually, I could
watchful,
really
here we
go
come.
for a pint right now. But
It's a bit early.
After after.
How much time has passed? Because I'm still down Will from the encounter with the slurs. Do I have any of that back, Sue, or no?
If I'm recalling the rules correctly, your will refreshes at the end of a case. Yeah.
That's cool.
But we are on a new session, so you can use the leaning on your drive rule.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with my drive for it yet, so I'll keep that in mind. Cool, thank you.
Given that it's protecting us, I'm kind of hoping you don't get an opportunity to lean on your drive. But something tells me we might.
Would it count if I use Sam as a shield to protect everybody else?
No.
All right, then how about Kane?
We might have a few boggarts.
I am kidding.
Talking of which, are there boggarts hanging around as far as we can tell?
It appears that the boggarts have not shown up.
There's a surprise. Okay, should we do the do? Does this involve dancing or is it chanting or singing?
There is a dance involved.
Oh, God, dancing.
For anyone up on this kind of thing, the specific dance is a Branley.
I have no idea what that is.
It involves dancing in a circle, a lot of stamping, and occasionally pretending to be a horse.
Of course.
All four of us have to do it too, don't we?
Yeah.
Damn.
While holding apples.
Do the thing.
I'll do it as grumpy and as reluctantly as I can while still doing it. I don't mind dressing as a cowardly lion, okay? But dancing like a horse is where I draw the line.
So after a couple of minutes of dancing of various quality, those of you with the sight can see that the portal is opening up. And on the other side, it's pretty dark.
I'm lighting my lantern. In fact, I had it lit already, but I'm holding it up.
Can I see on the other side with my night sight?
Well, it is a fairy portal, so unless you have the sight, you don't actually see it.
Gotcha. So the answer is no, I do not have the sight.
So what does it look like for those of us that do have the sight?
A dark forest full of gravestones.
Is it so dark that you can't see? Or is it?
No,
just like
it's lit
twilight?
by a dim moonlight.
Well, my friends.
Shall we go?
So what do we see without the sight?
A lot of mushrooms.
Well, there's a lot of mushrooms.
If you eat the mushrooms, perhaps you would start seeing things, but possibly not the fairy roam.
Sam, I think they have eaten the mushrooms. Do we trust this?
No, it's this way, guys. Should we do anything before leaping in, Kane? Is there anything that anchors us out here at all?
Just a love of light and green grass. Seriously, no, we'll just need to get out again. I don't know.
Okay.
The last time I saw anything go into a fey portal, it never came back out.
Okay, well, in we go. I'm carrying my lantern.
So I'm gonna be like, so what? The portal's here? Is here or over there? Where am I going?
I'll grab Samuel by the hand and yank him through.
Oh, a whole new world.
I will gently steer Vic in a rather less aggressive way.
You learned that one the hard way?
No, I just respect you.
Aw.
So on the other side of the portal, it is quite dark.
Oh, fucking
There's
hell,
a
Richard.
thin crescent moon in the sky that's giving you a little bit of light, but you're getting quite a lot more light off the gas lantern and the jack-o'-lanterns.
I have night vision. Is that helping me here?
Yep, you can see perfectly. And what you can see is a very large black form just ahead of you. Looks quite furry, which shortly after you arrive starts unfolding itself.
Oh, yay.
What is that?
And it's not long before the rest of you can get a good view of it too, as it stands up in the form of an absolutely enormous black cat.
What do we do?
I'm
Vic, don't chase
I'm
it.
prepared to defend just in case, but I am not going to go with the best offense. The best defense is a good offense motif right now.
Vic, just don't chase it, all right? I know you've got the urge, just don't chase it.
Take a step forward. Good evening.
Cat says, "Good evening. Welcome to the graveyard."
Say, it's okay, folks. It understands English. Hi.
You're lucky. I normally sound a lot more Scottish than this. I'm just on holiday.
Vacation. We would like an audience with your queen.
Ah, I see. Yes, well, there are rules about these things. I am set here to guard this portal, Depends how you want to play this, really. Do you want to go for the fight, or would you prefer to provide some entertainment? Yeah, I see you are nicely dressed.
I would never, ever, ever wish to fight as a majestic creature as yourself. Samuel, entertain the pussycat.
What entertain it how?
I don't know.
Well, I prepared a song, even if no one else did.
What's the chance of me having a red dot laser on my key ring?
Fairly likely, but you will find it doesn't work.
What? Oh.
It's just in that form. It's not. Anyway, I'm going to sing a song. It's a Halloweeny song that I looked up when they said you need to prepare stuff for performances, and I can't dance.
Can you sing though?
I probably can't. I mean, I'm assuming I'm not a beautiful singer. I'm just singing. I have deliberately picked something that's. I mean, it's a folk song. Probably, it will be in a key that people can mostly sing.
Are we going to perform a song?
Well, I can sing. I don't know if you guys want to do some form of a dance.
Yes, the cat says, well, you don't all have to do the same thing. And if you'd like to dance, those are good. I do enjoy a good story. Acrobatics, those are quite a laugh. Well, whatever you've got.
Do we each have to do something to entertain you?
Oh, yes.
Oh, God, the fight suddenly seems like the better option.
Well, I'm going to tell him a poem that I have.
I feel that you ought to have sleight of hand and do magic tricks.
Can I do that? Is that something I can do? I could juggle.
Pick a skill that you can apply to some kind of entertainment.
Let me have a look at my skills, because I don't think.
So I'm thinking, obviously, art for something like singing a song.
Oh, okay. I don't
if
have
you wanted
art.
to do a dramatic recital, that will probably be rhetoric.
Yeah, you see, I don't think I have anything suitable, but I'm also rubbish at fighting.
Yeah, something like juggling would probably come under athletics.
Would rapping be streetwise?
Yeah, magic tricks might be stealth or streetwise.
I have survival. I'm trying to work out how that becomes a skill.
Oh, and I'm going to make this a group roll as well. So
let me have a look at mine.
It means you're all going to make a roll, and any criticals will cancel out one failure.
Okay.
I was thinking I could do some tumbling, because this way, if I fail the roll, it'll still be entertaining.
Well, I'm going to pull out a deck of cards, shuffle the cards, and go pick a card, any card.
Yeah, the cat reaches out, pops out a massive claw, and taps one of the cards.
Okay. I'll show him the card. This card?
He nods.
Right. I'll put it in the deck, and I'll start shuffling it, and I will, using stealth, sleight of hand, move the card so that it's at the bottom of the deck or at the top of the deck. Doing a magic trick. Did you want me to roll?
Yep.
Does sneaky apply?
Yeah, I think sneaky.
It says hiding or moving without attracting attention. You said yes. Yes.
I just thought stealth might not be bad as well, because you're kind of trying to hide what you're doing, aren't you?
Oh yeah, because I've got. Oh yeah, but I don't have that as a specialisation.
Oh, okay.
I've got lockpicking.
I'll let sneaky apply this time. So.
I've got a 9. That's a success, right?
Yep.
And I go. Is this your card?
The cat purrs enthusiastically.
Can I use my education to relate a fairy tale?
Yeah.
I will do that, because that's about the only thing I can think of that fits with any of my skills.
And then right after Sam did the card trick, I lean over to Kane and say, "That's the first time he's ever gotten it right."
I'm looking very, very sad at this point in time, because I know what I'm going to have to do next. But
I got 11 on my roll for education for telling my fairy story, or retelling it.
That's a success.
I will go up to Samuel and say, "Can I have your deck of cards, please?"
I'll pass him my deck of cards.
You're going to read their fortune.
It was a very, very long time ago when I used to do this sort of thing. And I will take my cavalier cape out, put it over a tree stump, pop 3 cards out and say, "Okay, my dear, find the lady." and before I let them find, I'll turn around to the rest of them and say, "Nobody gets to know about this."
I'll lean over to Sam and say, "I've got a pound that says he ends up playing 52 pickup."
What's 52 pickup?
Where you drop a pack of cards.
When you
I've
drop
got
the
it,
pack of
9.
cards, you got to pick them up.
Yeah.
9 on Streetwise. There you go. It's never where you think it is.
Yeah, the cat seems suitably pleased.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm just going to do a tumbling run because if I fail, it'll be slapstick comedy. If I succeed, it'll be a good thing. So I look at it as a good thing. 8.
Whoa.
I'm going for slapstick. It's not worth a will.
No, 8 is a
It's
success.
a success anyway.
Oh, it's a success. Okay, I thought it was 9.
But you
for-
could deliberately slapstick it to add some panache.
You know what? I think I will. On one of them, I'll do a belly. On the last run of the tumbling, on a backflip, I'm going to do a belly flop.
The cat seems thoroughly amused by that. There's much
And-
loud purring.
After the belly flop, I get down and do a big flourish of a bow.
The cat looks you all over. And, well, thank you for that. Oh, nice costume, by the way, he adds to Vic.
Yeah, put them up, put now.
Well, I think you can go on through.
Which way?
Yeah, you'll be looking for all those other humans who came through, won't you?
Yes.
Yes, there are quite a lot of them. I think you'll find them in the mausoleum. Good luck.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
You'll need it. You haven't
Yay.
seen any boggarts, by the way, have you?
Not
Not here.
recently.
Well, they won't be missed here.
Why's that?
They're a right nuisance, pulling my
Well,
hair.
well, yeah, but why would you ask after them if you're not going to miss them?
Well, I'm a bit worried they might come back.
Oh, okay. I'd be worried about that too.
I mean, I'm not here much longer. I'll be heading back to Scotland soon, but
Yeah.
if I don't have to have my tail pulled by boggarts in the intermediate time, that would be better.
Why are you here?
Oh, I always come down for Halloween.
Okay.
Picking up the accent, though. Very unpleasant.
So, I'll thank the cat, and then we can head off towards the mausoleum.
Briefly distracted by the real cat.
Yeah, she's demanding today.
So there is a faint trail leading off through the graves and the trees. And it looks like there is some kind of building off in the distance. Vic, in particular, you can make out shapes moving around in the darkness, though.
Careful, we're not alone.
Well, I'm holding my lantern up.
There,
So
there,
who-
and there.
So,
Oh, no,
are we still going past gravestones?
Yeah,
What do they say on them?
each of them just has a name.
Right. Do they seem like they're kind of, well, human names, or are they sort of fae type names?
They look like human names.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah,
This is
there's
not at
Charlotte
all
Stevens
creepy.
over there. Victor Jameson right here.
We're just in the we're just in the pet cemetery, right?
If we were in the pet cemetery, we'd see Get Off the Counter over there. I know that's one of my cat's names.
So, what happens when we get closer to the mausoleum?
You get the feeling that the shapes in the darkness are starting to get closer to you.
Are we all aware of the shapes? It's just presumably Vic that can see them a bit better.
Yeah, Vic definitely has the best view of them, and Vic, from the shape of them, they are almost certainly the same as the slewer you encountered outside the circle.
Right. You guys hear a very low, deep-throated growl. Looks like Slore up ahead. And I am very much on my guard.
As I understand the way things work in these places, we have earned our passage and been granted it. Therefore, they've got to honour that.
Would you bet your life on it?
No, I would bet Samuel's life.
You would bet Samuel's life on a Kit Kat bar. That's why I
What?
asked you if you would bet yours.
I mean, to be fair, he was hungry that day.
What? I'll ask for a fucking chancellor when we get back.
I'll order you a Kit Kat bar, James.
And now and then the shapes do seem to move closer, but it does seem that they don't like the lights that you're carrying. And
Keep
after the
holding the lights up and move forward.
yeah, so long as you have the lights held up in front of you, as you move closer to them, they start to move away, and gradually a path is cleared towards the mausoleum.
So, do we get a feeling for how many? Are we talking the literal host of them?
Yep, there are. You would guess hundreds.
Yay! This is not creepy at all. Okay.
Very safe. Thousands of them.
For the record, that's beyond what I can take care of.
Yeah, I kind of guess. We struggled a bit with 2.
Well, let's not do anything rash then, shall we?
Let's approach the mausoleum and see where the door is.
I'm going to stop Dr. Moore just briefly and go, just remember, don't take any drink from them or any food, all right? And don't make any promises to them.
Thank you. At least somebody was listening.
And we might not want to do any of the offhand remarks about Sam because they might think we're actually serious.
Yep, exactly. Okay. I guess we go in.
So the building that you approach is pretty enormous as mausoleums go. It's really just the shape of you that clues you in on what it is. It's a huge stone building with a pointed roof and a massive locked door on the front.
Can we knock on the door? Does it open when we get closer?
It does not.
Okay.
What are the slurs doing?
They are watching you. They are starting to close in behind you.
Should we knock on the door?
It is not answered.
I run my torch, my lantern across it. Is there any writing on it or any obvious place where you need to stick your hand in and pull it and slide it or anything like that?
I mean, do we go for the trick or treat option and see if that causes them to come in? I'm not sure we really want to make that promise, no.
Yeah, it's a wee bit hard for them to turn around and say trick.
Well, I have got those eggs in my pocket, but yes.
There's a crest above the doorway in the form of an enormous skull.
Can we take a closer look with the lantern?
How tall, Vic? Stick your fingers into it and see whether there's any buttons you need to press or something.
I'll take
your
a
hand
look.
into the hole. Go on, you know you
Well,
want to.
looking closer.
I'll take a look, but if I'm not sure, I'll take Kane's hand and put it in there.
We
But
could
yeah, I'm
poke
gonna
it with
take
a
a look,
stick.
see if I can figure out anything.
Is there a lock?
Yeah, there is.
Only we had one of the world's most preeminent lock pickers in our part.
I'm gonna go close. Well, Dr. Moore's like rabbiting on about, oh, if only we had a prominent lock picker. I'll just walk close to the door and really quietly and stealthily, making sure no one sees it. I'll pick the lock.
Okay.
Which is stealth.
Yep.
I got lock picking as specialisation, and I've got breaking and entry as well.
Yeah, so it'll be +4.
A 13.
The door opens smoothly and silently.
I needed an 8. That's a critical, right?
Yes, it is. You are in
Oh.
silently and you looked great doing it.
I'll turn around and go, did you not check the door? It's actually open.
Weren't we foolish then?
I mean, it wasn't locked.
Well done, Sam.
I didn't do anything.
Keep the lanterns low. Remember, she doesn't like light. If we need to use it's better to have it be a quick burst and a surprise than have it be there from the very beginning.
I'll dial my lantern down a bit.
We don't really have a choice with jack-o'-lanterns.
Or one of the eyes.
Or just turn it so it's facing the other way.
Or turn it till it's facing
Ah,
you.
ha, ha, ha.
Get out.
You're giving me a migraine.
What's it like inside the mausoleum?
There are stairs leading down. At the bottom, there is a large open chamber. There are little niches along the wall on either side, and in each one, there is a casket. And at the far end is a throne. In keeping with the theme, it is made entirely of bones.
Yay.
The creature sitting on top of it looks very much like the slewer that you've encountered so far, but somewhat larger.
I imagine I'm taking point because I've got the night vision and I'm kind of the brute here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Kane one of the presentation boxes of soul cakes if he's going to be doing the talking. I have many though. I have backup biscuits.
Step forward, Sam. Like just slightly behind Vic. And I'll say, good evening, Your Majesty.
I step aside when he says that just to make sure she has a good view of him.
Queen stands up from the throne and spreads out her enormous leathery wings. Ah, delightful. More souls, more for our collection.
Unfortunately not. And in fact, Your Majesty, we come here to barter for those souls that you have already taken.
She laughs in a dusty fashion and says, well, what could you possibly have to offer?
From under my cloak, I'll whip out a box of cakes and lift the lid and go, freshly baked, still slightly warm from the oven. Soul cakes, milady.
You see her sniff a bit. And she says, step forward, leave the lanterns behind.
I'll flash the sight on and put my lantern down and step forward with the cakes.
The sight doesn't make her look any different. She is just as terrifying as before. So she moves a little closer, sniffs at the cakes, and looks slightly surprised. Nobody has practiced these old ways in a while. How many are there here?
I made lots of them because I figure at least as many as the number of people who went away, which was 22, but I think I made about 50 just in case.
So she's looking almost disappointed. This is a fair price. So this is what you offer. Soul cakes for souls.
It seems appropriate, milady.
Well, then perhaps we can make a bargain.
My eyes go wide at that.
Are the mortals that fell into your realm well? Are they intact? Are they alive?
They are still alive, for now.
I'll pull the cakes back slightly when she says for now.
You have spoken with my kind before, perhaps.
You could say I'm more than aware of the implications of speaking with the Fae.
So safe passage seems like a good move.
So where are these souls?
She gestures around the room.
Can we see anything?
There are caskets, of course. That's pretty much all that's in here.
Suitably macabre.
Sue, are there more than the number of people who've gone missing this year?
There are a lot of caskets.
Okay.
The Queen says, for your bargain, you will give me soul cakes. I will give you all the souls you can find. I wouldn't take too long, though. They have maybe an hour left.
And we'll be allowed to search freely,
Of course,
unimpeded by your children outside.
as you wish.
We definitely do want to be unimpeded.
I'll just turn and I'll look at Charlie and say, how does that sound?
Would anyone like to make a business?
I wouldn't.
Yeah, we haven't bartered as to whether we're going to get out yet.
Yeah. So we need to be able to leave safely if we do rescue any souls.
She nods.
And what would the cost be for safe passage from your domain for us and any souls that we find?
Well, if we are going with the traditional, I would ask a favour.
What do we think?
I'm not sure this is the kind of person we want to owe favours to, but I'm not sure we have much choice.
We're not. I'm going to be like, we're not supposed to bargain, are we? I thought we're not supposed to make any promises.
Carefully.
I think this is a good time for a business roll.
Does anyone have business?
Nope.
Nope.
Can I do a business roll? I'll just.
I'd say Charlie's probably the least bad at it.
Really? Oh, what? Yeah, because I have a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Okay.
While we're looking at normal difficulty.
Okay, let's go for it.
You're going to have to sink some.
Yeah, I think I am. I'm going to take 3 will. Will that be enough?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better that we roll business than I roll melee.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I've spent 3 will points.
So there must be. So I'm going to break subject quickly while you're. So there must be people in this world who are like business, like people that just do deals with the Fae and are just completely clued up on wording, how to make sure that they don't screw you over, and stuff. There must be like whole like divisions in P division that like look over like deals with the fucking Fae to make sure there's no fucking.
I seem to remember there are like go-betweens essentially.
Yeah.
Where that's
Oh.
their role.
Well, there's the law firm that deals with this. I believe they're called Hoover, Screwen and Howe.
Yeah, with a past business role, you're reasonably sure this is looking like the best deal you're likely to get, but you should at least specify that the favour does not involve handing over any souls.
We do that. Can we specify that we don't want to kill anyone for the favour?
The Queen looks disappointed, but ultimately agrees.
Are we going with it then, folks? Because if time is ticking.
Yeah, well, let's do it.
But I don't know how we're going to find these souls.
We're going to open the caskets up and see how many people.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. If we have to open caskets, you that corner, me this corner, you that corner, go.
Well, let's open one. And then
And see what.
You know. So
Oh, as soon as I said that, I'm just too rash. I start running over and I pop one open.
Okay.
worried some.
Do we see anything? Anything with the sight or without?
No, I don't think the sight's going to help here.
Okay.
Yeah, once the deal is struck, the slower Queen suddenly transforms into an enormous bird, flies up, and is lost to sight.
But yeah, I pop one open.
That's the one thing you do see with the sight, is that that was definitely a fairy illusion.
Well, what do we see in the coffin casket?
See, the first one you open contains the gradually disintegrating remnants of a skeleton.
Okay. Well, I guess we look at the next.
The second one contains a person, alive, just about,
Okay, then let's split up and do
pretty
this
much
properly.
paralysed with fear.
As soon as I see paralyzed with fear, we're getting you out of here. We just need to open a bunch more.
Vic, can you smell which ones have people in?
I sniff. I'm still in my human form because I can't really open these in my dog
Yeah.
form.
I think for this we're going to have a group roll.
Awareness.
What are we rolling
yeah.
against?
Awareness, that is the best thing for searching.
Okay. Since I'm not in my wolf form, I'm guessing I don't get a modifier.
No, although if
Okay.
you wanted to transform, you could use it at this point.
Yeah, but if I do that, I won't be able to actually pop anything open. So
Can I?
Sorry, what are we rolling against, Sue?
It's awareness.
Okay.
And so it's a group roll,
Can
so-
I argue? Could I get a bonus due to foresight and knowing perhaps exactly what fucking carcass, what coffins have people in and what ones don't have people in?
Yeah, I think let's have a look.
what coffin has a carcass and what coffin has a human?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you spend D6 will, you can get some visions of where you might find people.
Right, it's going to cost me 6 will. I'll spend 6 will. I've spent 6 will.
And you immediately have an absolutely horrible vision involving you all completely failing to find the right coffins.
Oh, yeah.
But on the plus side, that vision did involve you now knowing which ones just have collapsed skeletons in.
Sue,
You
the
immediately rule
first
out all of those.
the first person we found,
Yeah.
I'm trying to assess them medically because basically I want to work out whether it would be more to calm them down and get them to help us look for additional people, so that if I can calm down each person we find and get them to look for other people, then we do get more people looking,
Okay.
or whether they're too startled for that.
Do you want to make a medicine roll?
I shall make a medicine roll.
And
Um,
you just take a speciality on magical injury.
Oh, I did, didn't I? Yes.
Yeah, I think
So that's one is.
relevant here.
Do I add one?
It'll be +2 for your specialization.
Okay, so medicine with 2. 15.
So what you can see here is the same necromantic draining that you could see on Vic, except this person is pretty close to death.
Right. So realistically speaking, not going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, best thing
Okay.
to do is get them
do you
out
have
of
any
In
here
which
as
save?
case,
possible.
I'll do what I can to reassure anyone that I find, but otherwise I'm just going with speed.
Some biscuits will probably be a good starting point, but not while you're in a fairy realm.
Yep. Okay.
So how are the awareness rolls going?
I got 10 for mine.
Do I need to still give your awareness roll, Sue?
Yeah, I think given that you've been using your foresight, I think we'll call that an automatic success.
I got a 9, and it looks like Neil rolled a 10. So we have 10, 10, 9, and James a success.
Right, so you have, since that's a successful brute roll, you do manage to locate all 22 people within the time limit you were given.
How quickly do we do it? Do we do it faster or do we do it
I think
within?
with the aid of your foresight, you've finished with some time to spare.
So should we just get out of here before the time runs out? And
I'm if there's anything that doesn't involve feeding them that I can do to help the people, I will be doing that. But obviously there are 20 of them, so I'm going to be limited. It's mostly going to be about trying to just help them out.
we should have brought them some Red Bull.
We've got, I mean, there's stuff in the van. There are snacks anyway, but we need to get out first. So I'm going to help the most wobbly person on their feet and carry the lantern in the other hand on full brightness now.
Kane, how do we get out of here?
Back the way we came.
Gotcha.
Because if I remember correctly,
I'm assuming once we get out, we do the closing in the wash pool area.
yeah, the portal is still open, and then we use the salt and bronze to close it.
Yeah, let's hustle these people along as best we can.
Moving
If
along.
somebody needs carrying, I'll carry them.
When everybody's moving along, I'm going to hang around at the back and then mumble something about I've dropped something and go back into the mausoleum
Okay.
and look around and say, "Milady, if you are still here, I would have further words with you."
Oh. Do any of us notice him doing that?
I think that depends how aware you are and how stealthy he's been.
Well, he's as stealthy as an elephant blowing a trumpet.
I got 9 on being aware of what he was up to.
I've got good awareness, but I'm not paying attention to that. I'm paying attention to getting out of here.
Dramatically, it's probably better if I don't have views that all bundling in and going, "What you doing, man?"
Nevertheless, that might well be what was happening. Get back here. Take your own advice.
Well, shut the door on it. "The lady, are you still here?"
There's a flapping sound, and a moment later, she's standing in front of you.
I would
Still
ask
here?
another thing of you.
Oh, you've decided to stay.
No, I'm going to go, but the love of my life is lost in the Fae realms. You'll notice I've paid a price for my last transgression here, and I'll stare down at the fact that the lantern is not casting a shadow here. I would like to know which realm she exists in now. For this small piece of information, I'm willing to take custody of some of your denizens that have escaped out into our realm, namely a small pack of boggarts, for 1 year and 1 day before we return them here.
Those nuisances.
Which are your nuisances, are they not, my lady? And I will take them off your hands if you'll tell me where my beloved Jessica is.
I think we can come to a deal. So how about you keep the boggarts and make sure they don't come back here ever. And I will find your missing person and send a messenger with their location.
I will bow in my most courtly and say, "I agree to your terms. Now I will make my exit. Can I engage my drive?"
Yep.
Ooh.
Yes. Sorry, a little small gamist part of me left up there. Oh no, I needed 4. I've got 5. What a shame. Okay, with that, I will say my goodbyes and leap out of the mausoleum and peg it past the slewer.
Yes, the slewer are crowding a lot more closely in on the way back.
Pretty fast going, "We have safe passage."
Yeah.
There's a lot of very unsettling hissing noises. But
If
the
they hiss
lanterns
at me,
are,
I growl back.
yes, the lanterns do seem to be holding them back. Now and then you see one transform into a large black bird and take flight, but they're still not coming very close.
I will run towards the gate, towards the portal.
I'm probably at the back myself, making sure that no one's like going off the trail or anything like that. And then I see Dr. Moore come running up, and I'll go, well, you know, it's a good thing I was here, because otherwise, you know, we would have just found a bunch of dead people in those coffins.
Yes, because none of us could have guessed where they were in the coffins, could we? I see. But well done.
That's okay. You know, little by
And with the
little,
door.
little by little, I pay this this debt I owe to our Patreon off. I'm going to lean on my drive, please.
Leaning against a tree going, this is wonderful, Samuel, but if you would like some sort of, I don't know, star badge or something, a pat on the back or something, then
Yeah,
then
pat on the back. Yeah, all of those sound good.
Out into the real world and not about to be devoured by the ravening demons that are pursuing us.
That's okay.
Should we just get on with it? Can we take this outside in the very, very literal sense?
I'm trying to lean on my fucking drive, so I'm not at two will. Can I lean on my drive, Sue, please? Thanks.
Yep.
4. That's okay.
So after what seems like very much a longer walk back than the walk to the mausoleum, you finally get back to the cat. Waves a huge paw at you. Hello again. I did wonder if she'd get this far. She's quite something, the queen, isn't she?
Definitely something.
That's one way to describe her.
Just get embarrassing when they turn into birds, though. I have this strange urge to grab at them, and they don't like that. Never mind that. You were wanting to leave, weren't you? Well, portal's open. Go right ahead.
Sorry, before we go, who are you?
Oh, some people call me Catchy.
Does that mean anything to anyone? I'm not saying that. I'm saying this out of character. Does that mean anything to anyone?
Out of character, it means a bunch of puns.
Yeah, it is a very catchy name.
Oh.
Yeah, it probably means something to Dr. Moore with his fairy expertise.
She as in SIDHE.
Yes, well, I shall write the name in the Roll20 chat, because you're never going to guess it unless you already know about that particular entity.
Cat Sif? Wow, she's a Sif.
Well, it's pronounced she.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Right.
I hope it is.
Well, something to investigate when we leave.
If any Gaelic speakers know better, feel free to correct me on that one.
Okay, can we try? Well, basically, I just want to see if one of the captured people manages to get out. Okay, can we usher them ahead of us?
Yep, you know where the portal is, and as you encourage one of them through, they disappear from sight.
So I'm going to stay. I mean, can everyone see the portal from this side?
Yeah, you can see where it is.
Okay, so I'm going to just wait until we've ushered most of them through. And then probably when about half of them have gone through, I'm going to go through and I'm going to start trying to do what I can to revive them on the other side while the rest come through. I assume the others will take care of that. And at some point we'll need to do the closing ceremony. But for the time being, I'm just trying to get them to sit down. And if I've got any food outside, I can give it to them. Yeah, if we've got any spare apples left over from the ceremony, for instance, outside, they can have some of those.
Well, there is some leftover food from the Halloween party.
Does it look edible?
Yep, the
sweets, I
pre-wrapped
guess.
Sweets definitely look edible.
Yeah.
I asked Kedgy Toon here if did anybody leave through the portal while we were on our errand?
Cat glances around. Oh, you mean them? Oh no, you didn't take that long, did you?
It takes 4 seconds. Thank you.
I'll count everybody out. It's like being a teacher.
Yes.
If everybody's out, I'll jump out with the portal myself.
Remember, you got to be on your best behaviour. You're representing the school. Remember that.
And
Go with the same partners you came in with.
Hold hands.
take out the bronze blade and the salt and begin the ritual for closing the circle. Because now that we're out, that particular you have safe passage ends. And no doubt the slewer will be like, oh, okay.
Is this something he can do on his own, Sue, or because I will help him if I'm needed, but otherwise I'm just continuing to care for the people out.
I'll help him while you care for the people. That would be the easiest thing, right?
Yeah.
It just
Happen or does it require a roll?
Can we assist each other, or is that not a thing in this game?
It is in the rules, but given that you have the instructions for how to close this portal, I don't think you need to roll at this point.
Do what needs to be done and then slash the knife down to close the portal.
Yeah, and again, those of you with the sight can see the appearance of the portal change. It is still there, but it is currently closed.
That was an interesting way to spend an afternoon, wasn't it?
can I send Vic off to the van to get some additional snacks because we have many? Just because I think it'll take these people a little while to, or we could make our way to the farmhouse with them. Actually, thinking about it, it's not that far, is it?
No.
Okay, so we get them to the farmhouse.
We're dealing with all locals here. We could even get them home.
Mostly, I think. I mean, I guess a couple might, because there were some parked cars, but
If Vic's going off shopping, then I'll dig a £20 note out of my wallet and go in to get as many packets of Scampy Fairford fries as they have in the Saracen's Head to feed to the locals.
Sue, when we get to the farmhouse, does it look like we've been gone long?
No, it looks like you've only been gone a few minutes.
Okay.
Do we need to contact, because there's a large group of people, do we need to contact anyone to help cover?
I mean, it depends what they think's happened. I mean, we could just go for the old favourite, some form of gas leak or something hallucinogenic in the party food. They've all had quite bad food poisoning or something.
Dodgy sausages on the barbecue.
Yeah.
Spores from those suspicious mushrooms, perhaps.
Yeah. What are they like, Sue? What do they remember much? Is there anything I can do to help them?
They seem quite hazy about what's happened.
Definitely spiked punch then.
Definitely.
So I just sort of gently suggesting that they've had the drinks were spiked and just making them tea and sugary drinks and in the farmhouse.
Do we need to go get the woman?
I was going to say the one thing we did forget to do is to bargain back at the magical powers. I think Joe Willis is now got magic, whether she likes it or not.
Wow. Such is
Charlie,
life.
All right,
Charlie.
I'm gonna go to her house then.
I pulled Charlie off to the side quick.
Mm.
Do we have anything that we can actually spike the drink with, just for in case somebody investigates it?
I've probably got some horse tranquilizer somewhere, so I can put some ketamine in.
Yeah, let's. But we need to. If we're telling him it's spiked, we better make bloody sure it's spiked.
Okay. I give him some ketamine and say you can go off and deal with it. I'll just stay here and
Just don't use too much, or they should be dead.
yeah.
Oh, and I've gone over to get, what's the girl's name?
Joe Willis.
Joe Willis.
Joe Willis, yeah. There is something going on in my brain which is like, this is a good idea to do. So yeah, I've gone over to Joe Willis's house.
So, she answers straight away.
I say, you need to come with me right now.
Oh, okay.
And on the way back to the farm, I'll be like, we have rescued everyone. It might be a good look if you are among them, because otherwise you may get blamed for this.
Yeah, I see your point. It does look like a weight has been lifted off her.
Unfortunately, I don't think you've lost your magical ability, though.
And she nods. Yeah, when we passed the churchyard on the way, definitely still got it.
Okay, so we're going to need to... I'm saying this on the way back. I'm going to be like, well, our patron is a powerful magician, magic user. So it might be best if you come work with us, and he may be able to help you control your magic.
Well, yeah, if you think that's best, yeah.
Well, I don't think it's good for you to be running around with no knowledge of what you're supposed to do with your magic, right?
Well, no, I think I might hurt someone if I'm not careful.
Exactly. So if we can channel you down the right avenue, you might be able to be a positive to the world.
Well, I guess if something good came out of this mess, then that's something to work towards.
Well, the good thing is we have got a positive. Everyone is still alive.
So are you saying that I probably shouldn't own up to it all being my fault?
I don't think you should, no.
But, you'll get back to the farm.
I got Joe with us. I went and got Joe. I'll go over to the rest of the group and go, I think it's best if she's here when they start waking up or whatever, because then at least if she's part of the crowd, they might think she was with them or they've all been drugged. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Excellent suggestion.
That's actually a really good idea, Sam.
Oh, thanks. So, what about that medal? I thought you mentioned something about a medal, Dr. Moore. What's that?
Star badge certificate. I will pop by the local primary school and pick one up for you.
Thanks. Little golden star, yeah?
Samuel has been awarded a star badge certificate for having excellent ideas.
Thanks. That's all I needed.
Young people today.
How are the other people, Sue?
They are starting to look a little better. You think probably the best thing for them to do is rest for several days.
Okay. I will tell them this is what I advise and ascertain who doesn't have to drive to get home, and maybe start ferrying them back to the local houses if they're in walking distance.
Yes, and most of them are not locals.
Right.
People who just came in for the party.
They probably shouldn't be driving their cars. Okay, how many people can we fit in our van? I'm just wondering if we can do several trips to take them home and they can come back for their car when they're less woozy.
You could get a taxi.
Could get a taxi. It gets, I guess if any of them are willing to pay for their taxis to get home, I'd recommend it to them.
I think we've discharged our responsibilities here.
Yeah.
Most of them live locally and have probably just driven to Greater Brington from Lesser Brington or whatever it's called, Little Brington, because they're lazy and they can't be bothered to walk down the country track. Say again, young people today. Got a few little bits of odds and ends to deal with.
Yeah.
We need to attend to young Brittany and tell her that it's all sorted and that she can get her cream now.
Right.
Well, I mean, the Boggarts are still
God
at
bless our
large.
meringues. I'm going to go and see the Boggarts, I think.
We should also introduce Jo to our patron to maybe get her the correct training.
Well, or the Castellans. I mean, they're more easy to get hold of, given that we've never even met our patron. But
yeah, but she could work for us. She could work with us, and like we could keep an eye on her.
You could take her under your wing as your apprentice.
Yeah, but I don't do the same magic that she does.
But just think how quickly she could learn everything you know.
That would take years.
Years in the fae realm, maybe. But in reality, mere moments.
Okay, well, all right. Well, maybe you should learn it then.
It's got a point.
Yep. Kane, you just got owned by Sam.
My talents lie elsewhere. Breathing unaided and such like. To the
So we need to.
carrier.
Okay. I'm getting out of this costume. In fact, I've done that earlier because I've got that. I'll give you the costume back.
I'm still in it.
Nobody notices it's a costume. Of you.
Yeah, I'll get out of my cowardly lion costume.
Excellent. I don't really want to give the cavalier costume back. I quite like it. I
didn't even get a good chance to go, put him up, put him up.
Just as well.
I'm going to fire an email to our patron about Jo and her powers. And does he have any do they have any suggestions on where we can get her to learn? Like, where would be the best place for her to learn how to control her magic?
get a reply fairly quickly saying what kind of magic.
Oh shit! What?
It's
Necrotic, right?
necromantic, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be like necromancy.
Because she was seeing things in the churchyard.
Yeah, I'll be like, I suspect it's necromancy because of seeing dead things. Unless she's part of the film The Sixth Sense. We suspect it's necromancy.
And you just get a reply that reads, arrangements will be made.
Thank you. I'll send back.
Sound good.
I'll also follow up with the P division contact to give them a brief outline of the fact that some people disappeared. We've got them back. We've told them that their drink was spiked. It wasn't really, but that's what we've told them and they seem to believe. But I'm guessing they've been away now for, a couple of days, is it? Because they'd already been missing before we turned up.
2 days, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So presumably some of them had people who were expecting them back.
So are there any other loose ends that you're wanting to tie up on this case?
I will go and visit the Boggarts. Well, I'll drive back in, stop at the Castle Museum, just let Brittany know Operation Meringue Fest can go ahead unmolested. I'll drive by Tesco's, get a couple of pints of cream, and then head to the church for the third time. They're going to think they've converted me. And I've been out that church so many times and slip down into the tunnels and see the Boggarts.
Yep, they are still there.
I'll go and plonk myself down on a step and say, okay, my friends, we need to have a chat.
You can see them all staring intently at the cream.
So I've spoken to the Queen of the Graveyard.
Oh, she's really scary, isn't she?
It's terrifying. But
Did she do the face?
Pardon?
Did she do the face?
There was all sorts of wings going on.
Yeah, probably not the face then.
Probably not. We had cakes and lanterns and things. We were well prepared. But strictly speaking, we should be pushing you back through that portal.
Well, we don't want to.
Well, you see, and she doesn't particularly want you to, but we've come to an arrangement. So I've agreed with the Queen that I'm going to look after you.
What does that mean?
I can't believe I agreed to this, the things you do for love. I'm responsible for you.
There's some laughter at that.
And I'll lean forward and said, I just want to remind you that the big dog is my friend.
Yeah,
before you start thinking you're going on a crime spree around Northampton, because he will find you and he will eat you. Nom, 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 nom.
They all shrink back.
So this is how it's going to work, my strange underground dwelling fellows. Partly, first thing, you can't stay here. This is actually a real church and people are going to come in at some point in time and do churchy things, and there'll be a fete and you'll get your face into cakes and it'll be a nightmare, right? Now, we have lots and lots of huts and places out where we work where we can find you somewhere to stay. I will keep you in a nice supply of cream and other things that you want to eat. You can gorge your little selves on all the double whipped cream you want, right? Because believe you and me, we can actually buy it instead of stealing it. And on occasions, I will ask you to do a job for me in exchange. Now, that job might involve running between two places and delivering a message, or it might involve hiding somewhere and listening to what people say. Are we agreed? Or do I have to go and get my dog friend?
There's a brief bit of discussion. He wants to employ us. Are we allowed?
It's not employment,
Nothing that
it's a
says
partnership for mutual benefit.
Well, none of us want to get eaten.
Yeah. You see? Already I'm benefiting you by not turning you into dog food. And I'll slowly push the cream forward.
It's a very, very hungry looks.
Then I'll draw it back a bit. First one's free.
And then one of them steps forward. We'll do it.
There you go. And I'll push the cream forward.
There's a general cheer.
You know what we're going to do? And I'll pull out a bag with some big T-shirts on in. And I'll say, you're going to put these clothes on. we're going to very quietly walk out of here as if nothing's happened. You're going to get into my car and we're going to drive through the city, the town, okay?
Oh, in a carriage.
In a carriage drawn by invisible horses.
Yep,
You're
that definitely
going to
causes some
enter,
excitement.
as they say, the belly of the Iron Beast.
Yeah, can't imagine that would encourage them.
So long as we don't enter the belly of the furry beast.
Now we're talking. Come on, my little thieving friends. Moving out, moving out. Come on.
The things you do for love, I'm responsible for you.
And I will herd them into the people carrier.
Oh, they're going to stink it out for weeks.
You're going to have to get them a shower or something as well. Teach them about bathing.
Then drive them out to where the office is, and then go around the back of the office and find a sort of, empty shed or something like that, and say, "Look, your new castle."
Oh, there's a garden centre next door, so there's probably a lot of sheds.
Buy them their own shed and stick it at the back.
All right. That's coming out of your share, and having the mystery mobile detailed and deodored is coming out of your share.
Of course it is.
At least you got the deposit back on all the costumes.
So we've now got some boggarts.
Handy.
We've got the people out from the hellscape realm of death. We've got the new mage that is going to be looked after by our patron. I think we're safe to enjoy Halloween now, are we not?
Hope so. I'm looking forward to the meringues.
I want a pint. Sam?
No, I don't like beer. It's disgusting.
All right. I'm heading over to the pub.
I feel all day breakfast definitely in order.
No, do you not drink?
Huh?
Do you not drink, Samuel?
No, it's bad for business, right?
What amazing. A man of character. I, however, am going to go and have a very old whiskey and toast our success. Come,
Do we see
enjoy a
anything?
Soft drink.
Assuming that all goes well, do we see anything in the next day or so in the press about people's drinks being spiked or anything?
Yeah, there is a story in the local press, and apparently the saboteurs are unknown, and the 23 victims are making a full recovery.
Excellent.
Good.
And you do all get an invitation to the Castellans Halloween party.
Woohoo!
Turns out Alice makes an excellent meringue.
Or just buys them from Tesco's.
They're not the same.
Alice would not be impressed at anyone impugning her meringue skills.
I don't say a word.
Quietly eat more meringue.
Exactly. Don't care where they come from. Well, I do, but I don't.
I think that concludes this particular adventure. We are going to wrap it up here. We'll
Should we flip to page 85, I think it is? Yep, 85.
Sue, for my various health checks, would that count as using my drive or not? Although we're at the end of the adventure anyway, won't we? So it'll go back. So that's fine, actually, thinking about it. I won't bother.
Okay, so the experience questions. Have you learned something new about the hidden world?
Oh, yes.
That Queen of the
Yes.
Cemetery is really nasty.
Oh, actually, one thing we could do is look up a bit more about the Catchy, because I'm just curious if nothing else.
But yes, we've learned that there's a queen of the graveyard and she's terrifying. We've learned there's an entity called the Catchy.
We have the Slewer, although we'd learned a bit about them last time.
Does that all count enough, Sue?
Yep, that's 1 XP for that question. So the next question is, have you advanced your crew's goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think rescuing the people will prevent families of a bunch of people investigating what happened to them and stumbling across the hidden world.
And also there was a danger the portal was going to stay open. It was getting thinner, although I'm not sure. So I'm guessing us closing it properly has helped that.
Yep. And if it hadn't been closed, you suspect that those hundreds of Slua would have gone on a rampage on Halloween night.
And we also made sure that Joe Willis will be getting some form of training in her ability.
Yeah.
So you don't have an untrained necromancer on the loose.
Yeah, nothing like a necromancer performing an unboxing.
Right, so that's 1 XP for question 2. Have you concluded your current case successfully?
Yes.
Yes.
Were we successful, Sue?
Nobody died?
And we have a bunch of boggarts doing our will, apparently.
Well, Dr. Gow's will.
Dr. Gow, Dr. Moore.
Yeah.
Right, and have you learned something new and important about your crew or one of its members?
Yeah, definitely found a bit more about how motivated Dr. Kane is I mean, I knew he was obsessed with the Fae, but I'm beginning to piece together some of the other stuff.
I wasn't there for Dr. Kane's conversation, so I can't speak to that, but Sam did come up with actually a really ingenious idea of getting Joel in with everybody to get suspicion away from her. So that was he's more creative than I previously gave him credit for.
I've discovered that the crew fucking have no respect for me whatsoever.
Have you just caught on?
Yeah.
I
don't think that's true.
You see, I'm not going to claim I've learned anything from anybody because I always seem to. In the last 3 weeks, I've claimed that I've found out something new about Sam, that he's actually quite competent. And he's actually quite competent, and he's actually shown that he's quite competent. I may even have to back off and just rib him a little less now that I've got boggarts to worry about.
Awesome.
So no, I'm not going to claim I've learned anything new because it would be the same.
You know that I make a very nice biscuit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's at least 3 for everyone, and 4 if you got that last question as well.
I did, however, engage my drive and go over the amount of will that I wanted to get.
How did I mean, did I really learn something new and important about the crew if I'm yeah, they all fucking hate me?
I don't think it's true.
We were giving you a little more good-natured grief than we normally do.
I think actually you did learn something new about me, maybe a bit subtly, but you did. That actually one of my buttons is that I'm not a mage.
Yeah.
I know all about it. I can stop it. I can pretend to be one. But when push comes to shove, I'm just a normal bloke who knows a bit of Latin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, good point. Well, it's not just that as well, that you're willing to, he's willing to put himself in danger to fucking find out about his one true love. When he ran back to go, I didn't roll awareness because I was like, I don't know where I would be in the group. I don't know if I'd see it. But I'd seen him coming back.
I went after him and got the door slammed in my face. And I'm assuming that we at least know a bit about the boggarts. So I imagine that we know a bit. More than we did before, anyway.
This is where the boggarts are going to go horribly wrong. It's all going to go tits up, and before we know it, we've just got a riot of boggarts storming across Northampton, stealing all the cream.
Unfortunately, it's what happens when you have a campaign, isn't it? You know, we've got Alice and Brittany in the Castle Society, and they're happily, and we've got Nin, and she's there.
And we owe her a favour.
We've got the Queen of the Graveyard. We've got Joe
We
Willis.
also owe a favour.
Exactly, which is slightly more worrying.
We've got loads of stuff going on. Loads of stuff. So it makes it so good, man.
Sue, I'm going to put my will back up because I'm assuming this is the end of this episode.
I didn't get enough points to go up to 15.
Neither did I.
I did.
Okay. Are you going to get a because with 15 you can take out in advance, can't you?
I can, yes. So yeah, I'll have a think about what I'm going to take, or whether I'll take something, because I was tempted to take a cult library as an asset for the crew, as opposed to a trait.
We could definitely do with one, because it's all very well using the Castellan library, but I don't. Yeah.
I get my personal library brought across from Cambridge, or something like that. But I'll have a think and see if there's anything that would work with the character's concept that's in there. But yeah, I might well create a crew asset rather than. Would that be acceptable, Sue?
Yeah.
Cool.
I took a specialty of melee for unarmed because they didn't have living being as a specialty, so I couldn't do that.
With my skill point, I am this time going to take athletics.
I kind of feel at some point one of us is going to have to take business if we're going to keep doing these bargains every week.
It's not as immediately obvious as a useful skill, but the moment the pay starts showing up.
Well, ironically, we're running a business and none of us know how.
That's why instead of having a nice office building, we're working out
We've got a shed
with a wooden shed of bogart in the backyard.
Right, but with that, let's do some shout outs. Neil.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at @VodkaShock, and if you want to read my musings about games design or check out the news on Duty and Honor 2nd edition, which I'm working on at the moment, you can do that at omnihedron.co.uk.
Thank you. And Sue?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter or Blogspot under the name Savage Spiel. And my new game, Matrons of Mystery, should be coming out within the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. And that's, do you want to give a little overview of what that is?
It's a game for playing cozy mysteries, so in the style of Miss Marple. And it's rather like Liminal. It's set in Britain, except this is far more real-world Britain. It'll be somewhere in a charming rural village where there's been a horrible murder and little old ladies have to put their knitting aside and team up to solve the mystery.
So it's a bit like Midsummer's Murder, right?
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Other than that, for me, don't forget to check out the Discord if you're not part of the Discord already. Join that. It will be appearing in chat right now. It's in the description below, or there will be links somewhere that you can join the Discord from. So just look out for that. Leave some feedback on the videos. I've been editing all the videos. Last week's episode, which only went up on Saturday because of how do you say it not processing. It just been stuck for 3 or 4 days. Been processing the HD version. I'd like to get some feedback on what the audience thinks of the edits, whether they're good edits or whether it's too choppy or not. But just some feedback would be great. If you're watching this on YouTube and want to watch it live, we play every Sunday from 7 p.m. GMT over at twitch.tv/Chambers of Roleplay, all one word. If you're watching this on Twitch and you want to catch up, you can watch them on YouTube, on Twitch. There's the VODs are on YouTube. You can also watch them on Twitch as well. There is I've uploaded it, so there's loads of different ways you can watch it. Follow me on Twitter if you're not done so already, over at twitter.com/JamesCorpTV. I do have a Facebook. It's, if you don't use Twitter, it's the best place to follow that or watch for information for that. But in reality, Discord is the best way to reach us all and speak to us and leave comments and communicate with us and what you're thinking. But other than that, I'd like to thank the players for playing. Thank you for playing. It was very enjoyable. And I'd like to thank Sue, especially, for running an excellent game again. Top-notch quality games. I wish where I lived was half as interesting as Northampton. But other than that, thank you all, and we will see you next week for the another adventure. We will see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget, you can support me on Patreon over at patreon.com/JamesCorp. And also get your name here in the credits. I'd like to thank Era Sherpa, Weefs, Orcus Dorcas, Matt Jones, Mike Nudd, Ludovic, Bud's RPG Review, Giuseppe, and J-Wall. Thank you very much for your continued support. Most appreciated. Bye.